To start, we have our topic, binomial expansion. So, can you recall this topic, binomial expansion, in your undergrad? Okay, so we recall it, na? So, this is about the expansion of the binomial u plus v to the power n. So, if you have u plus v to the power n, that means we multiply the binomial u plus v by itself n times. So, if you have u plus v quantity squared, so that means we have u plus v times u plus v. And if you have u plus v to the power 3, then that means we have u plus v times u plus v times u plus v. Okay? Na? So, siguro we can present some of the products of the expansion. So, we have here. So, u plus v to the power 0, that is equal to 1 by laws of exponent. Then u plus v to the power 1, so that is u plus v plus u plus v. Na? Okay. Then, if you have u plus v squared, so that is u squared plus 2uv plus v squared. We are very familiar with this. No? We always use this. Then, u plus v quantity cube, so that is u cube plus 3u squared v plus 3uv squared plus v cube. Then we have u plus v to the power 4. So, this is the expansion. Tingnan nyo na lang dyan, ha? Kayo na lang tumingin dyan. Then, u plus v to the power 5, we have this. And so on. Okay. So, how did we obtain the expansion? So, we will study the properties, no? How did we obtain the expansion especially if we have higher exponents? So, we have here. So, the properties of the binomial expansion, number 1 is this. The number of terms in the expansion of u plus v to the power n is n plus 1. Okay? So, kung tingnan natin dito, so the number of terms daw in the expansion of u plus v to the power n is n plus 1. Okay. So, kung tingnan natin dito, the exponent 4, pag yung exponent 4 daw, no? That is n. Then, the number of terms here is n plus 1 daw, meaning 4 plus 1 is 5. Natin kabilangin natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tama, no? So, if you have u plus v to the power 5, then we have 6 terms here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tama, no? Okay? So, i-take note natin yung property number 1, no? The number of terms in the expansion of u plus v to the power n, then there are n plus 1 terms. Okay? Number 2, here. The first term of the expansion is u to the power n, and the last term is v to the power n. Okay, ano daw? So, the first term in the expansion is u plus v, or u to the power n, and the last term is v to the power n. Okay, tingnan nga natin dito. So, we have u plus v to the power 5, for example. So, this is u to the power 5. Then, the last is v to the power 5. Okay, na? So, again, the expansion, u plus v to the power 5. The first term is u to the power 5, and the last term is v to the power 5. Or generally, if we have u plus v to the power n, so the first term is u to the power n, and the last term is v to the power n. Okay, next we have here. The exponent of u decreases from n to 0, while that of v increases from 0 to n. Ano daw? Okay? The exponent of u decreases from n to 0, while that of v increases from 0 to n. Okay. So, this is as we go through as we go through each term, na? So, as we go through each term in the expansion, the exponent of u decreases from n to 0, while that of v increases from 0 to n. Tingnan nga natin, i-check natin, balikan natin, ha? So, tingnan na natin. Ito lang u plus v to the power 5. Okay. So the first term is u to the power 5, no? Then the exponents of u will decrease. Power 5, power 4, power 3, power 2, power 1. Tapos dito, wala ng u, meaning the exponent of u here is 0. So, okay, no? Tama. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. While that of v decreases or increases from 0 to n. So, dito, wala pang v. So, that is power 0. Dito, v to the power 1. Dito, v to the power 2. V to the power 3. Power 4. And then power 5. Okay. So, again, as we go through each term in the expansion, the exponent of u decreases from n to 0, while that of v increases from 0 to n. Okay, next, we have here the coefficients of terms equidistant from the extremes are equal. Ano daw? The coefficients of the terms equidistant from the extremes are equal. Okay, balikan na naman natin yung expansion, no? So, example lang natin yung u plus v to the power 5. So, meaning, terms with the same location from the ends or from the extremes, those terms have the same coefficients. So, that means, yung first term at saka yung last term, the same yung coefficients nila. Okay? Yung second term and second to the last term, the same yung coefficients nila. Yung third term and third to the last term, the same yung coefficients nila. Of course, yung fourth and fourth from the last have equal coefficients and so on. So we have here, no? So, the coefficients of the terms equidistant from the ends are equal. Okay. So, how about the coefficient? So, bali yung properties 1, 2, 3, 4. So, nakita natin yung mga variables with the exponents na. Okay. Now, how about the coefficients of the terms? Okay. So, kung tingnan natin, paano natin makukuha tong 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1, 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1, and so on. Na? Okay. So there is an interesting pattern of the numbers. And the pattern of the numbers, we can arrange them in triangular form. And the numbers are called Pascal's triangle in honor of Blaise Pascal. Okay. So we have here, unang-una, we have 1. So this is for u plus v to the power of 0. Tapos, yung second line, 1, 1. Then, the third line, ito yung pagkagawa, ha? You add 1 plus 1, and the sum is 2. Then, write 1, 1 on the extremes. Okay, tingnan niyo, ha? Paano ko i-form ang numbers? Okay, you add 1 plus 2, then we have 3. You add 2 plus 1, then we have 3. Then write 1, 1 on the extremes. Next, add na naman 1 plus 3 is 4. Add na naman 3 plus 3 is 6. Then 3 plus 1 is 4. And then write 1, 1 on the extremes. Okay na? Last na lang, ha? Okay. You add, this is 5. You add, this is 10. You add, this is 10. You add, this is 5. Then write 1, 1 on the extremes. So, if we recall, na, these are the coefficients if you have u plus v to the power 0. That is 1. Then this is for u plus v to the power 1. So, of course, we have u plus v. Then this is for u plus v to the power 2. 1 to 1. Then u plus v to the power 3. U plus v to the power 4, and u plus v to the power of 5. Okay? So, by using the properties and the Pascal's triangle, we can determine the terms in the expansion of the binomial u plus v to the power n. for any positive integer n. Okay? So, for our example, mag-expand lang tayo ng isa. Okay, so tingnan natin. So, ito lang siguro, no? Okay. Find the terms in the expansion of 2x plus 3y squared to the power 4. Okay. So, kung makikita natin dito, so the binomial 2x plus 3y squared, so u is 2x. Can you follow? Then v equal to 3y squared, and then our n is 4. So, if you recall, if we raise it to the power 4, then ito yung terms natin, ha? Tingnan natin. So, for the coefficients from Pascal's triangle, we have 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Just refer the previous, no, to the previous, natin dyan, sa pattern natin, for Pascal's triangle. Okay, nandito tayo. So, u plus v to the power 4. So, we have 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Okay. So, balikan ko, So, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Then, how about the variables with their exponents? Okay. So, the first term is u to the power 4. Then, v is 0. So, take note that the exponents of u decreases from 4 to 0, while that of v increases from 0 up to 4. So, we have here, So, u cube v, u squared, u v cube, then 0, u to the power 0, then v to the 4th. So, we can now substitute. Now, take note, u is 2x and v equal to 3y squared. So, we can substitute here. So, first term, 1 yung coefficients, 1 yung coefficient, tapos u to the power 4, where u is 2x. So, ito yan. Yung v, power 0 pa. Then, kasunod, coefficient is 4, then we have u cube. Then, v to the power 1, 3y squared to the power 1. Next, we have 6, 2x square, then v square. Next is 4 yung coefficient, then u is 2x to the power 1, then v to the power 3. Plus, coefficient 1, wala ng u, or we have 2x to the power 0. Then v, 3y squared to the power 4. So, if you simplify, we obtain this. Kayo na lang mag-simplify, tingnan nyo na lang yan. 2 to the power 4 is 16, x to the 4th. 2 cubed times 4 times 3, that would give us 96. 2 squared, then 3 squared times 6, that will give us 216. Then this will give us also 216, and then this will give us 81. No? Okay. So, ito ang expansion. Now, can we encounter this in the board exam? Is it possible ba na bigyan kayo ng question? Find the terms in the expansion of 2x plus 3y squared to the power 21. Nako, nakakatawa yan, no? Kasi pag ilagay dito to the power 21 and then you expand it, no? You are asked for all the terms, then that would be 22 terms. Huwag na lang, that is a very long computation, no? Better skip to the next number. Okay? Pero ano ba talaga ang possible question we may encounter in the board exam involving this topic? So, possible, we are asked for a specific term only in the expansion. So, let us say, I will ask you, in the expansion of 2x plus 3y squared to the power 4, what is the fourth term? And if you refer to our answer, the fourth term is this. So this is the fourth term. What is the third term? This is your answer. But is it possible for us to answer such question without expanding and exposing all the terms? So yun ang kailangan natin gawin, So shortcut na. So, pagbigyan tayo ng expansion, tapos we are asked for a specific term, paano natin sagutin yan without exposing all the terms? Kasi, long computation kung ganito yung gagawin natin. Diba? Okay. So, we will now apply formulas. By the way, yung formulas natin dito, we will omit derivation, of course, ha? Hindi naman kayo tatanungin sa board exam, derive the formula. Di ba? Yung mga 70s siguro, 1970s, 1960s, lalabas yan kasi written yun. Written yung board exam nila. No? Derive the formula for blah blah blah. Pero sa atin ngayon, kasi mga ano na tayo, mga kabataan, no? So, ang may encounter natin possible, we are asked for a specific term. Okay. So, paano yan? So, unang formula is this. So, this is finding the rth term in the expansion of u plus v to the power n. So, u plus v to the power n and find the rth term. So, ito yung formula natin for the rth term, no? So, meaning r, that means if you have this n, any term, second term, third term, fifth term, eighth term, rth term, no? So, this is the formula. NCR minus 1, u to the power n minus r plus 1, v to the power r minus 1. Okay. So, this is the combination symbol, na? Kita niyo ba to sa inyong calculator? The combination symbol, na? Tingnan niyo dyan sa inyong calculator, na? The second function of the division. So, wala akong calculator na ma-present dito. Tingnan niyo lang dyan, ha? Sa inyong calculator. Second function of the division symbol. Ito yan. Okay. So, paki-memorize sa formula, ha? Be, tanggalin ko. Be, memorize mo na, be. R term equal to NCR minus 1, u to the power n minus r plus 1, v to the power r minus 1. Kayo nga? Ano yung R term again? Narinig ko ang sagot nyo. Okay, balik ko, ha? So, the R term of the expansion. Okay. So, ano pang pwedeng ma-encounter natin na question? So, possible, we encounter question like this. In the expansion, what is the sum of all the coefficients of all the terms? So, ito lahat yung terms. Tapos, ito yung mga coefficients sa lahat ng terms. Then, possible we are asked, what is the sum of the coefficients of the terms? Okay. So, paano natin sagutin yan without expanding all the terms? May way of answering tayo dyan. No? So, ito lang yung gagawin natin. Tingnan nyo, ha? Okay. So, the sum of the coefficients of all the terms in the expansion is obtained by substituting 1 to all the variables and then evaluating the value. So, let us say, for example, if you have the binomial px plus qy to the power n, where p and q are the coefficients, ha? So, p, coefficient of x, q, coefficient of y, numerical values, then raised to the power n. So, ang gagawin lang natin dyan, we replace x and y, all the variables, no? All the variables replaced by 1, and then we evaluate the value. And yun na. Yun na yung sum of the coefficients of all the terms. Tingnan natin yan mamaya, ha? When we will show examples. Okay, now, how about if we have px plus k to the power n, where the second term here is purely constant. So, px plus k to the power n. So, same pa rin. We substitute 1 to the variable x. Wala ka namang ibang variable dyan. X man lang. Na? And then, evaluate. Pero you subtract k to the power n. Tapos, yung result dyan, yun na yung sum of the coefficients of all the terms. Okay. Ano pang pwede? Ma-encounter natin. So, possible we encounter also this question in the expansion of the binomial. What is the sum of the exponents of the variables of all the terms? So, kung ito, so meaning, what is the sum for plus 3 plus 2, plus 2 plus 4, plus 1 plus 6, plus 8? Di ba? So, paano na naman natin yan sagutin without expanding and exposing all the terms? May way tayo dyan or may formula tayo. Ito, ha? Tingnan natin. So, the sum of the exponents of all the terms in the expansion of u to the power a plus v to the power b to the power n is obtained by using this formula. Okay, ito yung formula natin. So, ano ba yung n? Exponent in the expansion. Ano ba yung a? That is the degree or the exponent of x or exponent of the variable in the first term. And b is the exponent of the variable in the second term. And by using this formula, we can get the sum of the exponents of all the terms in the expansion. Okay. So, ano sa tingin nyo? Ma-memorize nyo kaya? Ibalikan natin, B. R term yung una. Tapos, sum of the coefficients. Dali lang, no? Substitute 1 and then evaluate. Pag may constant k, no? Yung second term, ito is subtract. Sum of the exponents. We will use this formula. Okay, paki-take note. Gagamitin natin yung formula sa examples natin. Sige. So, I will have now the first example. Find the third term in the expansion of 2x plus 3y squared to the power 4. Okay. So, kung tingnan natin, in this binomial, u is equal to 2x. V is equal to 3y squared, and n is equal to 4. And since we are asked for the third term, then our r is 3. Kuha niyo? Okay. So, we will now use the formula. Anong formula yun? Tingnan natin, na-memorize na ba ninyo? Sige, sulat ko ha. So, the r term is equal to this. And then I can now substitute values. So, the third term is equal to 4c2, no? R minus 1. U to the power n minus r plus 1, v to the power r minus 1. And if you solve, you can press this in your calculator. Then this is 2x to the power 2. Then 3y squared to the power 2. No? And then if you simplify, you can get the answer. Ito na yun, ha? 4c2 is 6. Kindly check in your calculator, ha? Then 2x to the power 2, 3y squared to the power 2. Then combining and raising the coefficients to the power, we obtain the third term here. So 216 x squared y to the fourth. Ito, na? 216 x squared y to the fourth. Okay. So, kung tingnan natin, natandaan niyo ba tong expansion na to? Diba ito yung ini-expand natin kanina sa ating example where we expose all the terms? So, tingnan natin na. So, diba ito yun? And then when we expand, we arrive these answers. So, ito yung mga terms natin. Saan ba yung third term natin dito? 1, 2, 3. Tingnan niyo. Tama, no? So meaning, even if we will not expand and expose all the terms of the binomial expansion, using the formula for the r term, we can get the required term. So, okay na. Marunong na kayong mag-apply sa formula, ha? Okay. Sige. Next problem. In the binomial expansion of x plus y to the power n, find the middle term if the coefficients of the third and the 11 terms are equal to each other. Okay. So, anong nakita niyo dyan? Find the middle term. So, what is R? Middle term, corresponding to the middle term. Na? Tapos, in the given expansion, wala ka namang numerical value sa n. N lang yan. No? So, meaning to say, before we can answer this, we must know what is n in the expansion. And we must know what is the value of r corresponding to the middle term in this expansion. Okay. So, ano yung given condition natin? So, the coefficients of the third and 11 terms are equal. So, siguro isulat ko lang muna yung mga terms of the expansion hanggang 11 terms. I will just represent them by A, na? Ito. So, A sub 1, A sub 2, A sub 3, and so on until we have A sub 11. Now, these are not all the terms in the expansion. Bali, isinulat ko lang to hanggang 11 terms kasi ito man ang na-involve sa given condition. So, the coefficients of the third and 11 terms are equal to each other. Okay, tingnan natin. Saan ba yung third and 11 terms? Diba? Ito yun? Yan. Diba? So, the coefficients of the third and the 11 terms are equal to each other. Na? So, if we recall the properties, may property tayo number 4. The coefficients of the terms equidistant from the extremes are equal. Natatandaan nyo ba to? No? The coefficients of the terms equidistant from the extremes are equal. So, meaning, anong kuha natin dyan? Ito yan, ha? So, di ba the third term is third from the first? No? Third from the left. So, meaning, if they have the same location from the extremes or from the ends, dapat the 11th term is third from the last. No? Third from the right. Again, A3 is third from the left. So, to have this A11 the same position as A3 from the ends, no, or from the extreme, A11 should be third from the last. So, meaning, may dalawa pa pala tayong terms dito na. Ito na yan. So, diba? Third term is third from the left. So, A11 is third from the right. So, meaning di in this expansion, so that we can have this condition, there are 13 terms in the expansion. Tapos, pag ang n natin 13, or if we have 13 terms, not n, ha? So, correction. So, if there are 13 terms in the expansion, di ba, from our property number 1, the number of terms in the expansion is n plus 1. So, if n plus 1 is 13, that means the value of n is equal to 12. Na? So meaning, 12 pala tong n. Because if this is 12, then we have 13 terms in the expansion. Kuha? Okay. Tapos, ano yung hinahanap natin? Find the middle term. So, kung tingnan nyo dyan, saan yung middle term natin? No? Saan yung middle term natin dyan? So, di ba nandito yan? So, the middle term is the 7th term. Sound effects. No? So, A7. So, we have now R equal to 7. So, using the formula, simple, ano ba yun? Natandaan nyo yung formula? Ito yan, ha? So, our term is equal to this. So, the 7th term is equal to 12C6. X to the power 12 minus 7 plus 1, y to the power 7 minus 1. And this is the 7th term. Okay? So, may mga problems na ganyan, no? So, given lang, walang R. Tulad nito, number 2. Walang R, sinasabi lang niya, find the middle term. So, ang question mo muna, what is R corresponding to the middle term? Diba? Okay. Next problem. So, we have here. Find the term involving x to the 8 in the expansion of x minus 3y to the power 12. Okay? So, term involving x to the 8. So, anong nakita niyo sa problem na to? Wala na namang R, no? So, kung tingnan natin, wala na namang R. Only we are given that we look for the term involving x to the 8. So, una natin hahanapin dyan, what is R corresponding to the term containing x to the 8? Kuha nyo? Okay, sige. So, paano yan? So, kung tingnan natin ang terms from the left. Now, since this is the first term in the binomial, so, kung tingnan natin yung terms from the left, may mga x ka dyan. Huwag mo lang i-consider yung second term na 3y. Anyway, hindi naman na-involve ang y dito. Terms involving x to the 8 ang hinahanap natin. Okay. So, we can recall the property. Diba? The exponent of u decreases from n to 0, while that of v increases from 0 to n. Okay. So, again, huwag mo lang i-consider muna yung v. Kasi yung v na 3y, hindi naman included dito. X to the 8 yung hinahanap. Okay, so dito lang, na? The exponent of u decreases from n to 0. So meaning, ano yung unang exponent sa x dito? Alam nyo ba? Ano yan? X to the 12. So, ang unang term dito, when you expand this, from the left, we have x to the power 12. And then, the exponent decreases from 12 up to 0 as we go through the terms, up to the last term. So, kung i-list down natin hanggang x to the 8, so ito yun. Diba? Yung una, x to the 12. Yung kasunod, that contains x to the 11. Yung kasunod, x to the 10. Yung kasunod, x to the 9. And yung kasunod, x to the 8. And this is what we look for. Find the term containing x to the 8. So, bilangin natin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, meaning, the term involving r or x to the 8. So, the term involving x to the 8 is the fifth term. So, r here is equal to 5. Okay? So, once nakuha mo na yung value sa r, pang ilang term yung hinahanap natin, madali na lang yan. Madali na lang yan i-substitute sa formula natin. So, siguro, ito, memoryado na yan, pangatlo na nating example yan. So, if we substitute values, nandyan na yan lahat, u, v, power n, r is equal to 5. Okay. So, ching-ching. And the answer is this. Okay. Sige. Problem number 4. We have here. Find the term containing z to the power 5 in the expansion of 2z minus 3z to the negative 1 raised to 9. So, kung tingnan nyo, parang similar, very much similar to problem number 3, no? So, balikan nga natin yung number 3. Find the term involving x to the 8. Ito. Find the term containing z to the power 5. Ganun lang, no? Pero, kung nakita natin, kung balikan natin na ang problem 3, ito yung paraan natin para makuha natin yung r. Diba? Okay. Then, we exclude v. Diba? We exclude v. Bakit? Kasi, y naman yung variable natin dito. Ito lang ang x. Pero kung tingnan natin tong problem number 4, anong makikita natin? This is u, 2z, and then v is 3z to the negative 1. So, diba, kung gawin natin to, hindi natin pwedeng ma-neglect yung v. Kasi yung v dito, in number 4, nag-contain din siya ng z. May z siya, di ba? So, in the next term, okay lang sa first term because ang first term dito, when you expand here, is z to the power 9. Tama ba ko? Na, z to the power 9 because this is power 0. Pero yung kasunod na dito, this is to the power 8, tapos dito, this is to the power 1. This contains z, and we can combine them into a single one with an exponent. Unlike dito na, kung maghalo-halo na yung variables dito in the next terms, hindi naman natin mahalo yung x and y, no? To have a single variable with an exponent. So, kaya, man-neglect lang natin ang v dito. Pero dito, hindi na pwede. So, ito yung tingnan nyo, ha? Oh. Pag this contains the same variables, yung u and v mo, hindi mo magamit yung sa problem 3 na diskarte. So, paano natin yan? Okay. So, ang gawin lang natin dito, we will use the formula for the R term. So, R term is NCR to the power, NCR minus 1, U to the power N minus R plus 1, V to the power R minus 1. Okay. Pero, as of now, gagamitin ko lang muna yung literal part. Ito para sa numerical part naman to, di ba? Ito lang. So, ang literal part dyan, ito lang muna yung gagamitin ko. Ha? Where U is to Z, V equal to negative 3Z to the negative 1. Tapos, pwede ko munang i-neglect yung coefficients. Anyway, hindi. We are not interested on the coefficients here of the terms. We are interested on the variable part in which saan ba dito ang term na magbigay sa atin ng Z to the power 5. Ha? Okay. So, dito, U, ang gagamitin ko, Z lang muna. Wala lang muna ang coefficient, ha? Then, sa V, ang gagamitin ko, Z to the power negative 1. Wala lang muna ang negative 3 na coefficient. Okay. So, U to the power this, V to the power this, equal to Z to the power 5. So, if we substitute, Z to the power 9 minus R plus 1. Then, Z to the negative 1, R minus 1. Then this is 10 minus R, no? 10 minus R, then this is 1 minus R. Tama? So this is 10 minus R, this is 1 minus R. So ito na yung sinasabi ko. Di ba we can combine them into a single variable, Z, with an exponent? So, the left side can be written as Z to the power 11 minus 2R. Tama ba? Okay, no? 10 plus 1, yeah, negative R minus R. Okay, so they have the same base. We can equate the exponent. So, meaning, 11 minus 2R is equal to 5. And from that, R is equal to 3. So, meaning, corresponding to the fifth term, that is the third term. So, the term, not the fifth term, no? Sorry. The meaning, the term containing Z to the power 5 is the third term. So, R here is 3. Okay, pasensya ng konti sa mga, mga mali-mali sa, i-correct lang natin sa mga words na lalabas. Okay. So, we can now use this formula. Okay, so we have now, solving for the third term, we have. So, using the formula, substituting, so this is 9C2. 2Z to the power 9 minus R plus 1. So, i-consider na natin yung coefficient, ha? Kasi ito na yung third term na hinahanap. Okay. So, negative 3, Z to the negative 1 raised to 2. Okay. Then, ang sagot natin, ito. So, the term containing Z to the 5th. Ma-check mo rin yan, kasi yung sagot mo, of course, that contains Z to the power 5. So, if in case lang magkamali ka, tapos ang lalabas dito, hindi Z to the power 5, so that means, nagkamali ka sa iyong solution. So, kita naman natin yan, di ba? So, Z power 7, this is Z power negative 2. So, if we combine the variable Z, we have Z to the power 5. So, madaling i-counter-check yan. Okay, so that is about finding the R term. So, I hope hindi nyo makalimutan yung formula, na? Tapos, yung diskarte dyan, kung hindi mo alam or hindi given ang R. So, pag hindi given ang R, so may marami kang i-consider na given condition sa problem para makuha mo yung R, no? Value sa R. Okay. Next problem, we have here. Find the sum of the coefficients of all the terms in the expansion of 2x plus 3y squared to the power 4. Okay? So, ano yung hinahanap? Sum of the coefficients of all the terms in the expansion. Paano ba yun? Babe, paki-recall? Ano yung na-discuss natin kanina? So we will substitute 1 to the variables and then we evaluate. Okay, natandaan niyo? Okay, so gawin natin na. So, I will substitute x equal to 1. I will substitute y equal to 1. And I will evaluate this binomial raised to the power 4. So, I have it here, ha? So, 2 times 1 plus 3 times 1 square. So, lahat-lahat dito inside the outer parentheses, we have 5. So, 5 to the power 4 is 625. So, the answer for this problem is 625. Okay? Okay, now. Diba, kung tingnan nyo, ito yung example natin presented where we expand all the terms. Natandaan nyo? Yung unang example natin, no? We expanded and exposed all the terms of this. So, if I will write the terms here, ito yun. So, di ba, ito yung expansion natin. Ito yung 5 terms. Then, ano yung hinahanap natin dito sa number 5? So, we add the coefficients of all the terms. And if you try to check, if you add, that will total to 625. Okay? So, again, by using this way of answering, the sum of the coefficients of the terms can be obtained without expanding all the terms. And paano natin gagawin yan? Simply substitute 1 to all the variables and then evaluate the binomial. Okay na yan, ha? Sige. Next problem we have here. Find the sum of the coefficients of the expression 3x minus 1 to the power 12. Okay, ano to? Sum of the coefficients of the terms. Parehas lang sa number 5. Pero kung tingnan nyo, ano yung difference dito? May constant ka. Yung second term ng binomial mo, wala kang variable dito. 3x minus 1 to the power 12. Paano ba yun natin sagutin? Di ba? We substitute 1 to the variable. Then evaluate, pero you subtract this constant raised to the power n. So, we have it here, na? 3 times 1 minus 1 to the power 12. And then we subtract negative 1 to the power 12. And the answer is 4095. Okay lang? Okay. Sige. Next problem we have here. Find the sum of the exponents of the expansion of 4x minus 3 to the power 9. Okay, so find the sum of the exponents of the expansion of 4x minus 3 to the power 9. Tanggalin nyo lang tong isang of the expansion, ha? Parang na-duble. Duble yata. Okay. So, 4x minus 3 to the power 9. So, sum of the exponents. Di ba may formula tayo dyan? Ano yung formula natin? Na-memorize na ba? Okay, ha? So, we have here this formula. And then near n, or the value of n is 9. A is the exponent of the variable in the first term, and that is 1. B is the exponent of the variable in the second term. Wala namang variable dito, so B is 0. So ito yung mga values natin, ha? So n is 9, A is 1, B is equal to 0. And if we substitute to our formula, then we can get the sum of the exponents of all the terms. And that is equal to 45. Okay, so that is about binomial expansion.